questions from the panel.
So thank you. It was a great presentation, really great energy, and I loved sort of the grounding and the storytelling about Jesse and his career path, or his path through the school. One of the questions I had as I was listening is, you're asking a lot of teachers, because you're asking them to be more than just teachers, obviously. And I'm wondering about the professional development opportunities or the training that you will provide them to support them in being able to do all the things you're asking of them.
The support that we give our teachers comes in two ways. First, there's extensive summer professional development where we are working with our teachers on restorative justice, on our model of authentic literacy, and on how to do this role of being the academic counselor. What we have found is that oftentimes all of these roles are already asked of teachers, but without the right training and without the salary to support doing all of this extra work. So we're hoping that we can build this into our model and make it something that is actually part of our curriculum, and teachers are prepared to do it well.
So first of all, shout out to the Bay Area. And don't think we didn't notice the matching outfits and the fancy note cards. This is along the same lines as I think Marina's question, which is about teachers. So you described a profile of an ideal teacher. One thing you talked about was mindset. And your rationale for why this person was ideal was because the person answered during the interview, "I'm committed to social justice." Talk to me about, or to us about what that means and how you really assess mindset, because honestly, anyone would say that. Why wouldn't they say that?
So we define social justice in a number of ways. First and foremost, social justice is a dedication to understanding that you can have all the political experience in the world, but if you're not dedicated to building authentic opportunities for a child's future, be it through literacy, be it through the classroom and outside the classroom, then that's not social justice to us. So when we're looking for that specific person, of course we couldn't encapsulate it in just one quote. We're looking for someone who, maybe doesn't have all the rest of the items that we kind of suggested, being native of Oakland and so on and so forth. We're looking for someone who we can build through our professional development into that kind of educator who will approach every single child, especially children who have seen, who suffer from the effects of PTSD, who've seen all kinds of crazy things in their lives, to be able to grow and build into an amazing and wonderful person.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Congratulations. That was very clear and concise. I want to talk a little bit about, I love the terminology think tank or advisory, and that's a very important part of a child's development, whether it be elementary, middle, or high school. So social emotional development is very important. Can you speak to us a little bit more about how are you going to foster that? How are you going to make sure the academic and the social emotional piece is deeply within the school?
I will start off just by speaking a little bit about the think tank and the model, how it will be working. Since all students are coming in with different credits and different ages, they will be put in their think tanks according to their strengths. And this is where all the social emotional building will take place. And then throughout the rest of the day, they will also have their academics. And I'll let Michelle speak a little bit more about what the social emotional looks like inside the think tanks.
Thank you, Karen. Based on our research, when we were looking at our school, we think of restorative justice as not just a buzzword, right? So how do you make that concrete at all levels? So within our think tank, we're using Mark Brackett's emotional intelligence paradigm to first have our students look at, where do my frustrations come from? So it really starts with first internalizing, how do I feel? And academic connection comes into, we are infusing metacognitive strategies that go across all courses. So our thinkers are really pushed to really think about this text or whatever it is I'm learning about, what does it relate to with me and how I'm feeling and how I'm learning. So that's how we're trying to ensure that that balance isn't met, but we do not see it as two separate things. We see it as it has to be ingrained together, because if you don't realize how you think, then you really can't learn.
Question. First of all, thank you for a fabulous presentation. I'm probably one of the oldest people in this room for a long time. I wanted to know what the connection is, if any, between principal and the student. We know the teachers are in contact with the students a lot, but the principal is the head of the school, influencing the teachers. That's the primary person. I'm going to give you an example. Arthur Levine, the former president of this college, went back to his home in the Bronx, went to see who's living in that apartment and what's happened to them. And one of the kids who lived there was murdered by the gangs. And another one tried to climb his way out of the morass of criminality and was somewhat successful. So what do you do? What advice do you have to give to all the future principals and the principals here?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, one thing that we have embedded in the structure of our school is having all our leadership, including our principal, teaching a class. And we really strategically did that because what that does is it allows us to take that pulse of the school and also have that connection with students and that credibility piece as well. Also, part of it too, it does help our budget because we're able to have, a smaller student to teacher ratio as well. So we're really able to have, starting off our first year, 15 to 1, and then at max capacity is going to be 18 to 1.
Certainly food for thought, Oakland. Thank you.